All right, we're live. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Jay Ura, the Director of Customer Success here at Prevu3D. Thanks for joining us for this quick session on design layouts in RealityPlan. Today, we're going to explore how RealityPlan helps you transform your scanned environments into interactive, flexible layout models, making it easier to plan, optimize, and communicate design changes directly in a 3D environment. I'm joined today by David, one of our senior customer success managers. David works closely with our clients who are using Prevu3D to optimize production floors, improve space utilization, and accelerate design decisions. David, go ahead and say hi.
Hi everyone, David Sanoa. I'm a Prevu3D Senior Customer Success and glad to be here today to show you what we can do with RealityPlan.
Fantastic. David's going to guide us through a live demo using a VizPro dataset. This example kind of shines when illustrating generative design, inventive approaches to construction, digitization, and production planning, showing how to clean up scans, reposition or duplicate equipment, add new CAD models, and share refreshed layouts directly in RealityPlan. So this will be a 20-minute webinar. We're going to clean up scans. We're going to duplicate and move equipment. We're going to insert CAD models and apply constraints. We're going to visualize the movement paths, and then we're going to share that ability to export that right back into RealityPlatform for sharing and collaboration. Before we dive in, let's take a quick audience poll to see what the biggest challenges are when it comes to layout design. So let's take what's the biggest challenge when planning or modifying your facility layout? Removing or reorganizing existing equipment, integrating new CAD models into scanned environments, ensuring safety and clearance compliance, sharing and collaborating on layout changes. We'll revisit your responses towards the end. The poll will be active throughout the entire session, and we'll see how each one of these topics connects directly to what David's going to show us. All right, David, why don't we jump in? We can demonstrate the environment.
All right.
Oh, wait, one more thing. Before we get started, I also want to kind of focus on the ecosystem here. So we've done a lot of things. We've been doing a lot of webinars. I do want to make sure that we understand. Today, we'll be focusing on RealityPlan, which is the engineering layout design tool with the integration with CAD, BIM, and simulation tools. But that is a direct reflection of data that's coming from RealityPlatform. So Reality Capture, do all your scanning in your collection, move that to RealityPlatform. From RealityPlatform, move to RealityPlan. And in there, you do your design layout. The shared layouts will go back into RealityPlatform for the collaboration component, and that will be the full workflow for today's session.
All right, now let's jump right in. So this is the environment. This is the VizPro dataset. It's the full 3D scan of an industrial workshop. As you can see, we can navigate through it. This is RealityPlan. Now, first thing we need to do when planning a layout is to clear out what's not needed. So I'm going to show you how to use the cut tool to remove things such as mobile equipment or in-progress fabrication projects to get a clean working environment. So the cut tool is available over here in the toolbar. Simply activate it. So let's say that we want to get rid of this pipe buggy. So we can simply draw a shape on the floor around it. Adjust the height boundaries. Now, as you can see, the default boundaries are set up so that it does create a hole in the ground afterwards. This is why you have the option to fill holes right here. So we can turn this on for now and see what this does. You can always come back after the fact to change it. There's also the option to save the extracted object. So what this will do is it's going to create a 3D model of the mesh model, basically, of the volume that's inside of the cut. for later use. I'll show you just what this does in a moment. So once we click confirm, let it work just a little bit. You see the model slowly disappearing from the environment. This is live, but I have to mention that I think it's slower because I'm sharing my screen, because this was much faster when I tried this on my own beforehand. All right, so now this is creating a copy of the mesh. And I can just click OK here. All right, so I can select it. And as you can see, it now exists in the 3D models inside of my objects list. So I can move it around the shop if I want to relocate it. I can also find it in the 3D library and add it again if I want to add a copy of this equipment for some reason. This is not what I want to do today, so I'm just going to delete those two and work from there. Now, you can see the cut on the floor has been filled using the hold filling option. You can always disable that. And for, let's say, more complicated surfaces, you could start and use the plane primitive instead of using the automatic filling option. So again, the primitives are those 3 shapes that you can find here at the top of the 3D library. I'm going to use the plain one. The workflow is very similar to the cut tool. You can just draw the plane around the shape here. Now it's creating a 3D shape with the plane. What this allows me to do is to actually select a color that I like. I can pick it from their environment directly using this tool here. But I can also define manually a color if I want to. But I can also insert a texture, which is what I'm going to do here. So I can select this texture here. I got to this result by simply taking a screenshot of the empty floor shop and saving that as an image. And you can just stretch it so that it fits your the shape of the plane, basically. Now, if, as you can see, this object is also clickable in the environment. In this specific case, it might not be what you want. So it might get in the way of further manipulations. So a way to avoid that is by locking the shape or the plane in the objects list. So it's still there in the environment, but you cannot click it from here. You can still go back to the objects list, select it, and do some changes to it afterwards. All right. So now that we're done with this, let's go to the other side of the shop where you have more equipment that we need to clear. We have this unfinished project that I don't want in my environment to plan my layout. And let's say that we also want to remove this flame cutting machine. The process would be exactly the same. We're going to use the cut tool again. Just to save time, I'm not going to do it live. I'm just going to skip to this other layout that I've saved just to save time because it's exactly the same layout. There you go. So now these 2 machines have been removed and replaced with the new planes primitive on the floor.
Great, David. We got a question from Andrew. Can you take the cut data and export to other data sets or platforms outside of Prevu3D? And the answer to that question is affirmatively yes. You can export it in a bunch of different file formats and take it in from anything from a DXF to a text file to an RCS or others. And we have documentation on that on our website, and we can follow up with the specifics later.
Correct. Yes. All right. Next step. Let's assume that, okay, so we've seen what we do if we need to get rid of equipment, but let's say that we want to move some equipment to another location. You could go ahead and use the cut tool again and use the saved extracted object. But another way to do this would be to actually create a reality asset. So let's do this for the hydraulic shear. I'm going to create a reality asset with my shear. Stretch the limits so that I include everything. Can use the turntable to navigate around. Just this, adjust the top. All right. So what this does, once I create the reality asset, first of all, as you can see in the object list, the hydraulic shear now appears as a reality asset. This allows me to quickly hide it if I want to. I think I need to stretch the boundaries of this thing a little bit further down to make sure that I get everything. Update. Okay. Now, what this allows you to do is to either duplicate or cut the asset. Duplicate will do two things. It's going to create a 3D model of the volume that's included inside of the reality asset. It's also going to create an object in your 3D library that you can reproduce inside of the environment. So if we click it, we'll see how this works in just a moment. So this is in a scenario where you have an equipment and you want to create a copy of this. So let's say we have this machine, and we'd like to consider a layout where you have another machine exactly like this one. We're expanding, and we would like to see how this fits in our layout. So immediately you can just put it inside of the environment where you want. If you escape out of there, it's actually just going to insert it inside of the environment right on top of the existing equipment, and you can still move it around. Now, this is not my plan for today, so I'm just going to delete this. I want to actually not duplicate it, but I want to move it. So I'm going to cut the asset, hit confirm. Again, I have the options to fill the holes and save the extracted object. So that's what I want. I'm just going to hit confirm and wait for it to disappear.
That is incredibly intuitive, David. What would typically take hours in CAD can now be done in minutes with this interactive spatial awareness. So it's a really, really good tool.
It's I appreciate it very much, and it's very quick to just generate get something realistic going that can be used for a presentation or to show to any stakeholders that are not necessarily used to visualizing layouts in 2D. So this is really a very powerful tool. All right, so now my mesh cutting tool is finished. So what this is now is I have my shear in the environment, and the mesh has been filled. The hole in the ground has been filled automatically. So I can move it around to the other area over here. There you go. All right, so now as you can see, it's now immediately more clear, more free to do some design layout. So let's add a new piece of equipment in here. So I'll bring in a CNC machine from the 3D library. This one comes from Sketchfab. We integrate directly with Sketchfab inside of RealityPlan. It's very easy to find good models very quickly, but of course you can always use your own models through the import workflow. I have selected a punch press that I'm going to insert in the environment. So I just need to place it on the floor over here, save it. Now immediately I can start moving it around. Now let's say that for let's suppose that this the manufacturer's maintenance manual requests you to maintain a maintenance clearance around the machine. You could go and use and place it manually, but what's even more powerful is to use the constraints. So the constraints will allow you to place some limits or some requirements directly inside of the design so that you don't need to worry about it afterwards. So if we put a plane constraint on this surface with respect to this other wall and call it 1.5 meters, confirm. Now you can see that the machine is now located exactly 1.5 meters away from the wall. It's still free to move from side to side, but it cannot be moved front to back, which means that it's always going to be compliant with what the manufacturer is requesting. So you can still play around with your layout while maintaining those requirements. Another thing that you can do with the 3D model is add some properties. What I'm going to do over here is add a group of properties that we called machine specifications. And I can add all kinds of properties. They can be numeric values, text fields, toggles, external links, or even attach an external file. In this case, I have the brochure of the machine that I can attach to it. Just navigate to it. There you go. So now when someone opens this layout, they will have access to quickly open the brochure by clicking the PDF file over here.
That's a great, powerful example, and I think this was a good segue to Victoria's question that kind of revolves around the ecosystem and the platform. There's two. They're kind of back to back about Reality Twin versus RealityPlan. So today we're diving more into the traditional RealityPlan workflow, which segues into our future direction with our ecosystem of the RealityPlan, Reality Twin collaborative approach that's coming soon. So there is an existing one there, but there's a lot of new features that are coming in the future. And we want to make sure that we have a good foundation with RealityPlan and that our audience truly understands the power of RealityPlan before we start talking about other features and other products that we're rolling out.
All right. So as you can see, yeah, this is a great way to really see what you see is what you get, basically. So this eliminates the surprises in the design project. So the next, let's take it a step further and add simulate some movement inside of this shop. So what I want to do is I will simulate a lift truck driving through the environment. First, I need to add my lift truck to the environment. So I'm just going to place it over there. Save it. Now, the lift truck has been added to the objects list, I can right click and create an animation out of that. Okay, let me start over. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's reinsert this lift truck. There you go. Okay, and create an animation. There you go. I'm going to position my point of view from the top in the orbit mode because that's easier for me to work. Just move this window over here. All right, so now first step is to define the waypoint of the path of the object. So I can just click different areas inside of the shop. I'm not worrying just yet about the orientation of the lift truck. I'm just clicking for the location of the waypoints at this time. So just do it like this. Once I'm happy with it, I can click complete. Let's go to path settings and just tweak it a little bit more. I want this animation to loop. I could add some curvature to the path just to make it a bit more realistic. And I want to show objects on the path. So that's going to help me visualize the different stages of the way the lift truck travels. That's just for me to adjust the waypoints more easily. Now I can go back to each individual waypoint and adjust the orientation, so that they do follow the line. I can also move the waypoints also so that they make sense. Let's not be too picky, but I just want it to look good. Just get that out of the way and finish over here.
David set this up. This is a really good example that kind of shows the motion path and how it brings an installation plan to life and makes the review sessions a lot more productive.
Right.
A lot of insights can be generated from this specific example right here.
This is a great support for safety reviews. I know that it's easy to see now that there might be an issue over in this area where the lift travels from one side of the shop to the other with the traffic that might be happening through these doors. So it will be having the lift truck really moving in the environment. It makes it obvious to anyone. And one other thing that we can quickly do inside of RealityPlan is to create a video that can be shared with other stakeholders outside of the app. So if we just start the recording over here, let's wait for a few seconds. And then we'll save a video that we can simply link to or share. Okay, let's stop it here. Save it on my desktop. And if we go to this video, we can watch it again and share it with others. So
yeah, that's pretty powerful. The one thing that's really key about what David's showing here is that we've stripped out the UI of RealityPlan. And we have two other tools as well for static images, one with the UI and one without the UI. So those are also really powerful tools for reporting and internal sharing or external sharing. So good example, David.
All right. So next, let's discuss annotation and communication. So we do have a way to, well, first we can add some measurements inside of the environment. Let's say we want to add a horizontal measurement between this machine here and the obstacle over there, so we can communicate, okay, this is the clearance that we have for our lift truck. We can also add an annotation The annotation can be added to any surface in the environment. It contains a title, a description, and also you can color code it and add some attachments to it, just like we did for the machine, either a file or a URL. So for this annotation, I'm going to just call it warning lift truck crossing, and call it, let's add a stop sign. Just choose it to be red and confirm. So this annotation now shows up in the layout. Another thing that we could do is to add another annotation over here, where we would want to, let's say there's been a design review or a risk review, and it's been decided that there needs to be a dome mirror here. Well, we could just simply add a link to communicate what we want exactly as far as dome mirrors. So click confirm. Now this annotation now is live inside of the layout, and if you can click open the attachment, and it takes you to this web page where you can shop for dome mirrors, basically.
Great.
And this is now that's completed our layout. So the next step would be to share it. Let's go over to the layout manager to save our layout. Hit confirm. So this is saving all of the modifications that I did to the layout. And once it's finished, I can share it online using this button over here. So now it's uploading the layout to RealityPlatform, and it will be available for other users. Any user who has access to this project inside of RealityPlatform, but also there are ways to share with public links to any people who are not necessarily users of Prevu3D. They can visualize this project with any browser directly online. So all they need is an internet connection. So if I click open layout, it's going to take me to the RealityPlatform, and it's going to load the project for me to see directly online.
That's fantastic, David. So in just 20 minutes, we've gone from a scanned environment to a clean, optimized, and shared layout, all in one platform. So I think from the ecosystem perspective, it's a really good value from the perspective of time saved in cleanup and sharing. It really kind of helps illustrate how we can help tutor your new facility or your existing facility or your brownfield environment. So I think, do we have any other questions? Any other questions? Well, it's 9:30. So in order to kind of keep everybody on track, any other questions that we haven't gotten to, we will follow up with. But before we close, let's take a quick look at the poll results and see where we are. To recap, today we covered, okay, so great. This is resounding. What's your biggest challenge when planning or modifying your facility layout? Remove and reorg existing equipment, 85%. That tracks. And then add new CAD or scanned environments, 15%. So 100% makes sense. That's kind of where David and I would have sat as well. So thank you for those results. So RealityPlan, just kind of sum it up, gives you that single intuitive space to plan and communicate your facility layouts, turning real world scans into the actionable design environments. David, you did a great job today walking us through the demo, and thank you everyone who joined. If you have further questions or would like a demo, feel free to reach out to us. We'll share the recording and follow up on the resources needed and unanswered questions shortly. So thanks again for your time, and thanks for being part of the Prevu3D community.
Thanks, Jay.
Thank you, David. Additional content. We got cut off immediately after we shared the online layout. So we wanted to make sure that that was illustrated to everybody. So David, can you go ahead and share your screen, and we can kind of illustrate the looped animation and how it shows in the web.
Sure, let's go. All right. So earlier we uploaded this layout proposal 1 into the web, and now it's easy to navigate. It still has all the objects that we've inserted, including the lift truck driving around in a loop, so it keeps on going. It has the measurements, the annotations, and also everything that was attached to both the punch press, so the brochure over here, as well as the links to this annotation. So people who connect to see this layout, it will be available to collaborate using memos inside of the environment. They can add memos and add those to any kind of surfaces, and the memos can then be also customized and contain some links, bullet lists, and videos, uploading files, and all of that kind of stuff. And you can also give them the status of resolved or unresolved. So if there is a list of issues that needs to be addressed, then these can take the form of memos, basically.
Fantastic. And again, you can still do the standard navigation through the space using the fly, the orbit, the panoramic, do some measurements, and then change the overall visual content in the lower right-hand side. So thanks again for joining the session today. Look forward to our next one.
Thank you.